It's been a very long time since our last episode of Brawl News, so I'm excited to say, hey, another episode of Brawl News, baby! Let's get it! We've got a lot of pretty dang important stuff to get straight away into, as well as a hint of speculating to do in this episode today, centralized around next update Hypercharges. I think I might have stumbled onto something interesting. But before we get into that, let's get some current event stuff out of the way. Important, I'm currently recording this ahead of time, but when you guys see this video, the classic Brawl Stars event will have started, which of course means mega boxes are back, baby. Not only that, the new game modes seem to be really exciting for this event itself, but let's be honest, the most important thing is the mega boxes, so I don't want you guys to miss out on a single day during this event. So if you forgot and you're seeing this video, make sure to log into Brawl Stars and collect as many resources as possible, stack up those mega boxes. And hey, maybe you'll approach it much like myself, trying to rack up as many mega boxes as I can and then have a massive opening at the end. I think that's the most enjoyable method to open up things in the game. But yeah, I'm really hoping it's a fun event. In general, free rewards are always good, so looking forward to it. But now that we got that out of the way, why don't we get straight away into probably the most important bit of news to discuss here in this episode today, and that is potential hypercharge speculation for this next update. Believe it or not, we very well might be getting some interesting connections dealing with the Supercell Make campaigns recently. Way back in the past, Supercell Make was really good at predicting things for future updates, even so big as to give us a theme for the next update. And of course, with that information, you can do a pretty decent job as to what the newest brawlers might look like fitting into those themes. But since then, it's been kind of lackadaisy when it comes to sneak peek oriented stuff. It's just a way to participate with the community to create skins for everyone, right? But I think there's something interesting going on with these last few campaigns here. I don't know if it's intentional from the Brawl Stars dev team or anything like that, but I do want to put out there, this is very early on speculation. Normally, I would wait a bit longer to see if we would get some reoccurring things going on to be a bit more convinced on my end, but I thought, hey, you know what? Might as well just throw it out there, let y'all know what I'm thinking or what I'm trying to look into. And if it works out, if the prediction holds true, then it works. But the two important campaigns of note here that I find a little bit odd compared to most of the other ones are what might be giving us some information about Hypercharges, right? The starter strange Supercell Make campaign was the Sandy and Jean one. Now, of course, this was some time ago. We already have these two skins available in the game, but the interesting thing to take note of here about this Supercell Make campaign is the update in which we received the Jean and the Sandy skin is the update we got their two Hypercharges. So we got both the skins in this update, and their Hypercharges were released. We got them both in this update. What's strange as well about this particular Supercell Make campaign is there was really no rhyme or reason for the brawler selections or the theme of them, right? This is, I think, the very first time the dev team was like, hey, create whatever you want, no theme attached, have fun with it. The reasoning for this campaign in general could very well be they wanted skins for both these characters available around the time Hypercharges were released for them, right? So people are more inclined to purchase things for their newly acquired Hypercharge, right? Something like that. Now, if we take a look at the very next campaign, we have the Summer of Fire and Ice for Mr. P and Amber. So unlike the Jean and Sandy campaign, this one has a little bit more of a theme that the dev team is going with, but honestly, I don't know if that matters a ton. But I think the interesting connection at the very least for the Amber and Mr. P skins is we might have the same exact situation carry out that we had with Sandy and Jean, getting Hypercharges for them in the next update so that they have relatively newer skins available for them, making, I suppose, people more inclined to purchase the skins if there are new abilities for these characters, right? Now, the thing that is a little bit different that I want to point out, making me feel a little bit weird about this, still, I think it's a honest potential here for Mr. P and Amber getting Hypercharges in the next update, is the fact that these skins were announced in this most recent Brawl Talk Talk, and of course, they didn't get Hypercharges here. But I think it's also very important to take note here is the Brawl Stars dev team is about to go on vacation here soon. If not, they have already gone on vacation, and in this update, we had 3 seasons announced, so 1 more than usual. So that could be the reasoning why these are being announced in the Brawl Talk before their Hypercharges, if they are getting them in the next update. But these skins will be coming out during the very last season of the announced seasons in the Brawl Talk, so the 3rd and final one. So it might land very nicely and conveniently when these skins release around the same time if they are announced in the next update getting Hypercharges. So could just be a new practice that the dev team is taking here, a smart one if they're trying to up revenue. Release a hype ability along with newer skins for the characters so people might purchase the skins when getting the new ability. So of course, to wrap up the prediction in general, I have a feeling Mr. P and Amber have a very good chance of getting Hypercharges in the next update announced. And if it does work out, we have another cool template. If we see 2 random brawlers getting a Supercell Make campaign, they might be getting Hypercharges very, very soon in an update right down the line. Speaking of Supercell Make, I thought this was interesting enough to bring up in a Brawl News episode here that I guess might have some potential at another future Hypercharge if our prediction works out, right? But we have Lucky84 over here on Twitter asking Danny to give them a hint on what the next Supercell Make brawlers might be. And Danny replies in saying, okay, 1 hint, and that's it. The brawler's name starts with the letter C. I won't confirm if you get the answer right though. Nicely enough, we actually have a screenshot from this user here of all the brawlers with a C for the first letter of their name. So we have Carl, Charlie, Chester, Chuck, Clancy, Colette, and Colt. Not a lot, I'm surprised. But I suppose if our speculation is accurate about how these Hyperchargers are lining up with Supercell Make campaigns, if Carl, Chester, Chuck, or Clancy, I don't think Clancy has a Hypercharge, I don't know why I don't know that, but if they get announced in a Supercell Make campaign, it might be kind of eyebrow raising for this prediction, thus maybe giving even more credibility to Mr. P and Amber getting a Hypercharge in the next update due to the Supercell Make campaign. Seeing that we're already in Danny's replies over here on Twitter, here on the same exact day as this Supercell Make conversation, we also have this interesting piece of news as well regarding the Time to Explain podcast. Wouldn't blame ya if you ended up forgetting as to what that is. It's been a while since the last episode, but we have Chris asking Danny here about the podcast, and Danny says, yes, we didn't have much time lately, but hopefully after July, once everyone comes back from vacation, they could have some time. So maybe possibly a brand new episode of the Time to Explain podcast early in August, or just maybe sometime in August when they have some time here. The only reason I'm bringing it up is the podcast is phenomenal for sneak peeks. Every single podcast episode, they've had a segment for juicy sneak peeks for the following update, which is really, really exciting. So cannot wait for a new episode of the Time to Explain podcast. Looks like we have a little bit of a timeline for it, so that's exciting. But I think that's a good stopping point for this episode today. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day out there when you're watching this. And of course, as always, thank you guys for stopping by and hanging out with me for a few minutes over here. I always appreciate your time. But yeah, man, thank you guys for watching. We'll be talking super soon. Adios and take care.